Hello and welcome, everybody, to the second questions and answer. Hello and welcome, everybody. Hello and welcome to the second round of questioning and answers for Dan and Mike with Trial and Error Outdoorsmen.
Yeah. Doing a little bit of a podcast type of thing where I'm talking to him, he's talking to me, but you're in on the conversation as well.
I'm looking here, Dan's looking
I'm
there,
looking there,
and then we have a third camera there.
So we reached out yesterday and got a couple questions. We wanted to do this again because the hunting season is here. It is October 1st. Why the fuck aren't we in the woods? You want to answer that one?
Just next question. That's not on the Q&A.
October 1st, opening day, and we're doing this podcast. I am heading upstate on Friday. I'll be out in the woods Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and see how that goes. Mike has some things to do, so he won't be able to make it. I guess we'll just hop right into the questions.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. So, first question is from my longtime friend, Brian Cully. The question is, what steps would one have to take to start hunting in New York? It's a two-part question. He has another part. But,
Yeah, I think I could answer this one because I just went through it last year. So it's actually much easier now than from what I understand it used to be. You used to have to take a class in person, and it would be, I think it was 2 parts, 2 days long, both 8-hour classes or 6-hour classes.
Yeah, when I took it, it was 15 years ago, and I'd have to go to my, in Valley Stream, the administrative building. They held the class, and it was 4 weeks long, and it was every Wednesday for like 3 hours. So.
Right. So what I did it on my days off. It took me 2 days to do. I think it was 12 hours worth of online class. It's very simple. You could do it in one day if you really wanted to. If you really wanted to commit yourself, you just have to sit down and be in front of your computer for 12 hours and go through their education, go through the way that they teach. It's not like a physical teacher. It's all online slideshows. You go through the slideshows and answer tests throughout the course of the day. So I think there are range from like 10 to 12 tests quizzes that you may take. And once you complete that, you're able to buy your tags and start your hunting journey. It's really it. It's pretty much it. Yeah, it's very simple. It's just tedious work.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's all online. Second part of his question was any tips for newbies. The one tip that I would say is try it out. Figure out what you like to do best and try it out. With Mike, I don't even know if you had your license the first time you came with me.
Yeah. No, I did. I took my license. I took my test before.
Mike's a special person because he knew he was going to like it. For the people who don't know if you're going to like it or not, I would say go out with someone like one of us and sit in the woods and see if you're going to like it. Luckily, if you're lucky, you'll see something. If not, you have been a hunter because you've hunted, and it's not like they say, it's hunting, not killing. So
do you need a permit to go and just like walk through the woods?
No, so
I know you don't need a hunting license.
Yeah,
but to walk through the woods legally.
So if it depends upon where you are, if it's private property, no, you don't need anything. You can go wherever. For us, since we hunt on state land and DC and everything, you do need, it's a DEP, right? DEP access permit, which you can go online and get it, and I think it lasts for 3 years.
Yeah, and you could do that in 5 minutes because if in our last or 2 videos ago,
That's being posted.
yeah, that's
in
being
2 days.
posted in 2 days. You're gonna see we left to go hunt, and then we're like, oh shit, we forgot to get our permit. Had to come back. I did it on my phone and like took me, like I said, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Printed it out, and we were good to go.
Yeah, so the tips are, see if you like it. Try it out before you go through all the trial and error.
Yeah.
Try it out. Go out with one of us if we're close enough. If you want to do that, we'll sit with you. See if you can actually do it. There's many people that want to be hunters and want to do it, but they can't stand sitting out for hours in the cold, in the hot, and everything. So.
I don't even like to sit out for that long. I need to take a break. A lot of my friends, other than Dan, that hunt, like they kind of make fun of me because they don't think I'm committed enough. I definitely would recommend going out with somebody that has experience hunting first, rather than just going out by yourself.
All right, so on to the next question from my buddy Joe Tanzi. He asks, rifle or bow hunting, and why? You want to give your answer first, or
I guess when I started last year, I was more confident with my rifle, so I definitely preferred rifle hunting last year.
you didn't even want to?
I didn't even want to use.
You were
my
like,
bow.
no, I don't want to. I'm like, dude, you're gonna like.
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But now that I've shot my bow a lot, I think I'm not necessarily more confident, but I think it would be more exciting to hunt with my bow rather than a rifle, because you hit the animal with your rifle from 200 yards away.
Yeah.
They don't even know you're there, but when you're bow hunting, it's like a different level from my experience. So
yeah, I'm gonna give that typical answer where it's well, it depends upon the situation.
Yeah.
Bow hunting is awesome because you're sitting in a tree stand. A lot of some people do ground and stalking and everything. I don't find that very easy with bow. But rifle, you can, like we did, me and you. We walked the entire property. We seen 40 deer. We stalked them. We watched them for a while, but it was at a long distance. Bow, you're sitting in a stand, and you kind of like, as sad as it sounds, you watch this deer, have no idea that you're there, come in and do his daily routine. Come in, and if you're sitting on a food source, or if you're sitting outside a food source and you see them come in, it's like you're watching them. They have no idea that you're there. And you're pretty much 20. They can get as close as like 10 yards, which is pretty insane. And that's just a different type of feeling than seeing something 200 yards away and taking a shot at it. Because, there's no like, it's like, oh shit, there's a deer, let me just shoot it. When it's bow, it's like,
your heart is in your throat. You can't move. You're like, just get a little closer. Just get a little closer.
Exactly. And depends, this deer can come into you within 5 yards, but if he's facing you, you might not get a good shot at him. Then he can legit, and I've seen it before. They've come in and they just do a 360, 180, and they walk the other way, and you have no shot at them at all. So depends upon turns right, turns left, trees in the way, whatever. But that's how close they are, and it's. I guess I've killed more with my rifle, but I haven't taken bow as serious as I am now, and I'm very confident with my bow.
Yeah, we did a lot of work in the off season.
All right, so next question is from my buddy as well, Ruben Tabarez. He asks, what's the most misunderstood aspect of whitetail behavior?
I'm gonna let you answer this one. I really wouldn't know.
So, like I've told you guys in the past, I've learned all my knowledge from my cousins, my father, and then YouTube, obviously. But now that I'm getting really into it, I've been able to watch more videos, read more articles, figure out the behavior of white-tailed deer. And I always thought that, everyone says, oh, they're not nocturnal. They're not nocturnal, but they stay up at night and they find their food source and they eat during the night. Doesn't mean that, they're not up during the day. What I'm learning now is that when you see them in the morning, it's when they're headed back to their bedding. So they're heading to sleep. So they do sleep during the day. And then when you see them at night, they're waking up and they're coming out to go to their food source. So what I've been learning now is that you want to hunt near a food source, and hunt near a food source at night. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you hunt near a food source at night because they're getting up and they're going to their food source. You hunt outside of a food source during in the morning because they're coming from the food source and going back to their bedding. So you want to pretty much be between their bedding and their food source, and you'll catch them on the way there. That was the biggest misunderstanding of mine because I always thought that they slept at night with us.
Yeah.
And they got up. We just got up earlier than them, which it's kind of stupid if you think about it, but we just got up earlier than them and we caught them. It was kind of just crossing paths. That could be the case, but what I'm learning now is that, they're moving a lot at night and and my cameras show that, so I don't know why I wouldn't think that. But
one thing I'd like to add on is like extreme temperatures definitely fall into play with the animals. Like if it's really hot out, you probably won't see them.
And with the snow, which I didn't know until last year, which I learned, which is cool, is that they will bed down closer to like roadways or closer to their trails. So where we seen them was the one property. There's a big, I guess an old logging road or just a big road that just goes right through the whole property. And pretty much every deer that we've seen, they were either on the pipelines where there's no trees and the snow wasn't too bad, or right outside of the road, which they're able to walk the road, lay down, get up, and walk the road again, which is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
I want to actually circle back to Cully's question. Any tips for hunting in New York would be don't hunt in New York. If you can stay out of New York, if you can hunt, if you live somewhere else, there's a reason why people don't come to New York to hunt. People go from New York, go every other place to hunt. It's just
so many rules and regulations.
And also you can see the different types of deer. Like upstate deer, where we hunt, we're upstate New York, but we are eastern New York. Western New York deer are huge. Upstate eastern New York, the deer are like, and if you could see this deer here, this is like...
That's a massive deer for where our location.
It's probably the biggest deer that you're going to shoot in the counties in the area that I shot this. Long Island, there's massive deer and big deer, but you're dealing with other things like ticks, chiggers. It's like
Long Island is infested with ticks that carry Lyme's disease, and some carry that alpha gal that makes you like allergic to red meat. So I don't even want to hunt out east. I know that there's insane deer out there, but it's like I think the juice ain't worth the squeeze sometimes.
Until he sees one of these things.
Exactly. Things may change.
But what else did I want to say there?
I know if you watch, I keep looking at this camera. If you watch a lot of these hunting shows and channels on cable television or even on YouTube, like these guys hunting in the Midwest are sitting in a stand. They have a target deer in place. They're letting all the other bucks go through. That's not the one I want, and they hunt over food plots. You can't do any of that in New York. One, because it's so overpopulated with people. With actual human beings, where if you have a target deer, that deer is gonna be gone before you go out there. Unless you sit in that and you get there on day one of unless you sit there on day one of hunting season and don't leave, someone else is shooting your deer. Target deer. So.
And that's the funniest thing is like when I hunt, like I come home and I don't shoot anything. People are like, why aren't you killing anything? Last year we had a group of friends from work that went down to South Carolina to one of our buddies' properties, and they all shot a deer within 2 days. And everyone's like, why can't you shoot deer? And I was out in the woods and it was like snowing, and I remember sending a Snapchat to the group, and I'm like, if you want to experience real hunting, come up with me and experience real hunting, because I'm hiking, I'm trekking through everything, rain, sleet, snow.
Also, there's, for good reason, but there's regulation on the deer that you can kill. Like they have to be a certain age, or they have to have a certain amount of points.
So where we are, it has to have 3 points on one side. So the one, I don't know if anyone can see it, but my 6-pointer there just meets the regulation. It has to have 3 on one side. So
This one's
technically,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect example right here. If you could see this.
Yep.
3 on one side, 2 on the other.
So this question comes from Mike's buddy Tim Betts. What is the over-under on time in hours before the first kill of the season? So I was going to reach out to him and ask him, did he mean us or like
Anybody.
anyone?
Well, if it's anyone, I
it's
bet
legit.
you there's hundreds of people
30
that
minutes.
Killed,
Yeah.
that have killed deer already.
Yeah.
Us, over under a year right now for me. Over under a year.
I'm hoping over under, today's opening day. I'm going up on Friday, which is 2 days away. I'm hoping to get something this weekend. Yeah. I told myself, so where we're hunting, the private property that we're on, I do have a target deer for, and I call him May West. I don't know if you understand why I call him May West.
I don't think so, no. Just go
so,
on. Yeah.
So May West is I'm an electrician, so there's a strap called the May West strap. There's a different name for it, but they call it May West because of a actress back in the day. She had really big jugs, and her name was May West.
Okay.
So wide.
Got it. So
that deer is fucking like, no, his rack is like this.
Okay.
It's like super wide, so that's why I call him May West. So that right now is my target deer. I've never had a target deer before, so this is going to be interesting. It should be fun. So I'm going up this weekend, and hopefully I see my target deer and I get a shot at him. But I also said that I won't shoot a doe on that property because I want him to come around when the rut is on, and I want him to have all his choice of females all around. So if I'm shooting a doe on that property, it's because there's 6 other does with them. If I'm shooting a doe, it's going to be somewhere else probably. Yeah. So, so I guess that answered his question.
Yeah,
over under a year.
That's very funny that Tim answered that asked the over under question.
Next question comes from Eric Mack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coworker of ours.
He actually asked 2 questions. What type of hunting do you do? Tree stand, sitting on the ground in a chair, or moving?
Me personally, I've done 2 of the 3 so far. I have not hunted in a stand yet, but I'm going to do that this year, mainly because I didn't have a stand.
Yeah.
But the first time we went hunting, Dan was in the stand and I just sat below him. Second time we went hunting, we just walked for 8 hours, just following all different 30 deer that we saw. We tell the story just about every time we record. But I walked a ton, and then our turkey hunt, we just sat because I think everybody does that.
Yeah,
when
you
turkey
can't
hunt,
really.
turkey hunt from the ground. And then our last hunt, the bear hunt, we just sat around trees. But so to answer your question, I've never hunted in a stand before, but I plan on it this season. Dan, go ahead.
I do it all. Depends upon what season it is and what I have. When I have my gun, I started off in a stand, but I don't like being in a stand with my gun for some reason. But gun, I'm on the ground. Crossbow, I'm on the ground, which I can be in a stand if I want to, but I like being on the ground for that. But bow, I'm always in a stand. But I think I'm going to change that. After watching our guys that we watch, a lot of them will just drive past public land, find a deer, and then stalk it somehow, which I don't know how that's possible, but they do it, and they kill them. So
you also have the saddle.
That's another thing I'm trying out this year is saddle hunting, which I'm a little nervous about, but it should be...
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
You're going to be more comfortable in the saddle than you are in...
That's what I'm hoping.
Than you are in a stand. Saddle looks very comfortable. It's just very complex. A lot of knots.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's very overstimulating for me.
He also had 2 other parts of the question. One was woods or field. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
to me.
I guess like a field would probably be easier because you have no trees in your way when it comes to hunting the animal. But
for rifle,
yeah. For rifle, yeah. Well, with a bow, you're not shooting anything more than probably 40 yards.
Yeah.
But field would probably be better. But also, the deer exposed, but then so are you. So maybe on the tree line.
Yeah, they don't like deer. Don't like walking as much as you see deer in a field. They know when they can be in a field and when they can't.
Right.
That's why we see them at night in the field. Hardly ever see them during the day in the field. they know, and
They
they
got
don't
good
like,
vision too.
yeah,
They got really good vision.
they don't like walking in the field, so they'll do the tree line. Then they'll go out and they'll graze and they'll come back in. Third part is it going to be a cold or warm season?
It's definitely going to be cold. It's always cold.
I think the total opposite. When I first started hunting, I remember the first weekend I ever hunted with my father. I wasn't even hunting. I was just sitting with him. We stepped outside and it was like -8 degrees. And he looks at me and I look at him and he's like, if you can last here, you'll last whenever, wherever. And I did. We sat out the whole day that day. And, the cold gets to me every now and then, but it's been getting warmer every single year. I've never hunted, last year and the year before, I walked to my stand and I literally sat in my stand shirtless. I took my shirt off because I was drenched in sweat because it's so warm, especially during bow. It's so warm,
Yeah.
which sucks, but
I don't know. The one tip I will say is, like, you don't want to. I'm sure all hunters know this. You do not want to overdress. You don't want to have too many layers because you'll overheat. You'll be dripping sweat, and then by the time you get to your stand or your position where you want to go, then you sit there, and then your sweat that's on your body gets cold, and then that hunt is going to get 10 times worse. You're going to be freezing.
Yep. I'm going to jump ahead to a different question that bounces off the question we just spoke about. My buddy Pappy in the firehouse asks, what is the longest time you've spent out without seeing anything that you can hunt? I'm not going to answer that right now. Has there been a day it's been so cold where you said, fuck it, I'm heading in? So, bouncing off that, I think Mike has wanted to 100%.
I'm a little bit of a bitch when it comes to this stuff. I get really cold, and things will change as the more I hunt.
It definitely will, because I remember when I first started hunting, my toes would go numb, my fingers would go numb, and I just didn't understand why. And I still don't understand why they were, and now I'm getting better with the cold.
But I need to be stimulated. So if I'm like sitting in the tree stand, or if I'm sitting on the floor for too long, one, I'm falling asleep. Or two, I'm just gonna start moving around.
You're a big mover.
Yeah,
dude.
I need to do things. I can't just calm down. I need like a Xanax when I go on the.
You're a big mover. I'm sitting there and I'm like, but you'll get used to it. It's still your first year and a half of hunting. So whoever is just starting hunting, and you don't you're moving, you'll understand when. Yeah, I think the first time he'll see a deer that he spooks because he's moving, you're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah. So, and as I've gone on with the years of hunting, I realize that my movement scare away deer that I don't even see.
Yeah.
So that's what pisses me off. And like with the falling asleep in the woods, I used to fall asleep all the time. I hardly ever fall asleep now because I think about the amount of times that I've sat in the woods and there's been deer that move quickly within 45 seconds. My eyes are closed. I'm not seeing those. So that's why I try not to fall asleep. All right. So the other part of his question was, what was the longest time you spent in the woods without seeing anything you can hunt? We'll answer that by 1 day, and then we'll answer that by how long, career-wise.
The first time I went hunting with you, bow hunting, we went for 3 or 4 days. We didn't see a single deer. So
3 or 4 days, we hunted 2
days. 2 days.
Say 2 days, but we hunted 3 times total, and we didn't see anything. So, we probably sat for 5 hours each. Yeah, so times 15 hours that we sat without seeing anything. Well, for me, for this question, the longest I went, if I remember correctly, I didn't see anything in the woods for my first 4 years of hunting. Given that's because I hunted maybe 2-3 weekends a year, because between football and I was too young to go up by myself, and I went for like 2 or 3 years, and I didn't really want to hunt anymore, but I got back into it, and I started seeing more. And one thing is, I think that the regulation on the bucks, you can't shoot anything smaller than 3 points on one side, so you're letting spikes go, 4-pointers go, 5-pointers go. Well, not 5-pointers, but
if you don't know what a spike is, it's kind of like right there. So they don't have, their antlers aren't branching out yet. It's
not even a year-old deer pretty much, because they're right here.
Which I am going to speak for the both of us. We're not against that. It's like you want more mature deer in your area.
You know,
it's not fun if you go out hunting and every single deer is like you have nothing to no trophy really.
what I can say is that if you guys can see this, I shot that in 2017. I shot this in 2023. This deer probably looked like that in 2017. If you think about it that way,
Yeah.
you know, because I was, what is it, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6 years. I'm saying this deer, I was told that it's around a 6 to 7 year old deer.
And that's
So if you think about it,
that's old too,
very
right?
old.
Deer.
This thing wasn't
Deer don't
lasting,
live to like 8 years.
This thing wasn't lasting another 2 years in the woods because the way you know, besides being a professional, whatever, deer management, the way you determine the age of a deer is you check the teeth. If the teeth are tiny and completely grinded down, it's a very old deer because they went 6-7 years of eating shit. They eat whatever's in the ground with their food. So they're chewing on rocks, they're chewing on, and they're grinding down their teeth. And obviously they have no dentist to go to.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's why this was a perfect deer to take, because he wasn't going to last another 1.5 to 2 years because he wouldn't be able to eat because he has no teeth.
Yeah.
So this would have been a waste.
Right,
he would have been a waste.
Yeah.
And when they stop eating like that, their rack gets smaller because they don't have the nutrition. So
that's another way to look at it. Like if you're against hunting, just that was a perfect way of explaining why, hunting happens and why it's not illegal, is because the deer is going to either starve to death or we as humans are going to benefit from the life that it had.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to be taking over the questions now. The first one is going to be from our pal Tommy over at Cast and Blast, New York. Go follow them if you don't already. They're great guys.
5th or 6th episode was with them fly fishing.
Yeah.
Which was a great time.
Yeah,
It was
great
awesome.
dudes. And he asks, what really happened in that tent? So, if you haven't seen yet, go check out our last
Pause
video.
this right now.
Yeah. Go
Go
check out
back.
the last video. Dan and I went camping for Dan's first time. I've done it before with my parents when I was a kid, but nothing like the way we did it. I mean, we went out into the middle of the woods. We had nothing. We brought. I have a tent. We got cots and we brought pillows and blankets, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we set the tent up and.
Yeah, just go back and watch the video,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to see what we did. It was very short of part of the video is when we were bear hunting as well. But
The next one comes from Westchester Outdoors.
okay,
And
quick with these guys. I know them from the Vols and from. Come on, man.
Vols being the volunteer fire department.
Don't worry, I'm a volunteer fireman.
Sir, there's no smoking in here. It's okay, I'm a volunteer firefighter.
This is really buzz killing me here. Okay.
Perfect.
Check them out on you go to our following and our followed by, and they're on there. Check them out. They're great guys over there. They sell a lot of products, some gear, and they have a lot of knowledge over there. So give them a follow, watch all their videos, their posts. I think they're in where did he say? They're in a different state.
Westchester?
No, well, they're based out of Westchester, yeah, but a bunch of them went to like Idaho or something like that to hunt mule deer, I think it is. I think that's where they are. Right now they're there, so it's pretty cool. They're going to like Kentucky, so I actually spoke to them last night, and hopefully we can get a little collab going. Definitely want to get together with them and do some stuff.
So, to get into their question, Dan and I actually want to do a more in-depth video on our setups right now, but I guess we'll kind of explain what we have really quickly. For archery hunting, I actually have never bought a bow. I have a hand-me-down bow. The thing works great. I don't even know I know it's a Bear. I
Bear's
shoot
a great brand.
The tips are 100 grain. I got my broadheads off Amazon. They're Montec G5 or something like that. I think that's really it as far as my bow goes. If you want to go,
I'll leave mine in depth explanation of all my stuff for a different video, but I'll bounce off and talk about the new gear that I'm using this year, and that's the saddle hunting, which is I'm really looking forward to. I forget the brand name that I got, but we went to the
Great American Outdoor Show
Yeah.
in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
And I purchased that, so that should be a good time. Other gear, you know, I don't even.
I guess so. I'm lucky enough where I really didn't have to buy much because my father used to hunt 30 years ago, and 30 years ago we were the same size. So as far as clothing goes, I didn't have to buy anything. All right. So these are from two anonymous
Yeah.
sources, just people that we don't know, and they asked us, "Do you have any target deer for this season?" Me personally, I don't have any cameras.
Yeah.
So whatever deer comes into my line of sight, I'm just gonna get fucking killed.
Is gonna get thought about
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shot
yeah,
at,
yeah, yeah.
and
I have all
hopefully-
my tags this year.
Yeah.
And then the last question, Dan, someone wants to hear about your trophy buck story, which is over his shoulder right there.
This one right here. I'll zoom it and then take it out. The story actually isn't really that interesting. Like the kill, you know, the seeing, hunting it and killing it. The day was the best part about it. It was opening day 2023, I believe. Yeah, November 18, 2023. Just to start, it was my father's old spot. He moved up the mountain to sit somewhere else. He let me sit in his spot, and it was opening day.
That's a good dad right there.
And yeah, so he let me stay there, and he went up, and I set up my blind and everything.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Got it. Go. Sorry.
I set up my blind and everything, and we go out the morning of opening day. You can just start to be able to see yourself at 6 o'clock. 6:15, we hear the first shot. I think it was like 6:17. We hear the first shot, and we all have our radios that we speak to each other. And I remember saying, wow, that was early. Meaning like that deer had to, whoever shot, it wasn't one of us, but it was someone else on a different property. Whoever shot had to see this deer pretty much 5 feet in front of him to know what it was and to actually be able to shoot it. I shot this at 6:23. I think it was actually 7. Everything was 7. 7 a.m. is when the sun came out, whatever. But whatever. So 7:23, I remember I shot this. A couple of minutes before I shot this, I see movement about 60 yards away from me, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, here we go. I take my rifle, and I'm sitting in a blind, and I set it up on a stick. And I'm looking and I see one deer, another deer, another deer, and I'm watching them. And then this one came and stopped 60 yards from me in a perfect line of view. And I seen him, he had his head down and he went like this to scratch on a hanging branch. And I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't know how many points he had. I just seen that he was like this. And I'm like, there's no way a deer is like this without 3 points on one side. And he just looked massive. So it was perfect. I'm pretty much not moving. I have my crosshairs right in that area. He walked into my crosshairs. And I seen him do that, and safety was already off. And I took my time and I took a shot. And shoot, I see legit 15 deer run. They all ran, and they ran across me. And then it was kind of like they had their own road that they turned left and went right down the mountain. So I shot, this was 30 minutes into sunlight. I jump out of my blind. I tried to watch, I seen them come down, go across and shoot down. So I jump out of the blind, and I don't know if I got out of the blind quick enough or there was that many deer that I got out. I got on one knee and I pulled my rifle up again, and I still had deer running in my scope. That was a good like 10 seconds that I was able to get out. They all run, and what I don't remember is if I went down right away. I don't think I went down right away. I went back to the blind and I looked where I shot, and I knew exactly where I shot, and I took a walk down, and I see no blood. So everyone's going crazy on the radio. I radioed them. I'm like, I took the shot. It was me that took the shot. I took a good shot. I don't know. I don't find it. I can't find any blood. So I'm looking. I go back up to my blind. I look again where I shot, and I walk straight to it without taking my eyes off of the area. See no blood. Again, I'm freaking out. I go over the radio. I'm like, I see no blood. I'm like, I know I had a good shot. I see no blood. And my dad's on the radio, and he's like, change the channel 2. So it was just me and him talking. the change. He's like, relax, because I was freaking out. He's like, relax. If you shot it, we're going to find it. I'm like, all right. So I went back up to the blind, and I sat there for like 20 minutes, freaking out. I'm like, there's no way. Because I've missed deer, and I hate missing deer. I go back down, I see no blood, and I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, you know what? Let me just walk where they went. So I knew that they went 10, 15 yards this way and then down the mountain. So that's what I did. I walked 10, 15 yards, and I started walking down. And within 15 yards, I look to my right, and I see a big white belly leaned up, pretty much hiding behind a huge boulder. And I'm like, and I was so excited, and I walk up to it, and then I just see half the rat just laying there. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. And he called me a pussy. I cried. 100% I cried. I just was so surprised. I was so thankful. And I didn't know. I get on the radio. I'm like, big buck down. I found it. And everyone's like congratulating me. And I went back to the other channel just to talk to my dad. I'm like, Dad, this buck is huge. I'm like, it's the biggest buck ever. All right. I'm like, should I wait for you to field dress it or what? And he's like, no. He goes, just do it and then just go back up to your blind. And then like 45 minutes to an hour after I shot this, I hear a gunshot, and I'm just praying to God. I'm like, please be my dad. That would be awesome. And I gave it like maybe like 5 minutes, and my dad comes, Brown is down, and I was so excited. I was more excited for him killing the deer than me killing this one. So fast forward, I go up to my dad to help him field dress his and drag it down, and I get up and I remember this vividly, and I'm like, Dad, this is the biggest deer I think I will ever shoot. I'm like, in New York, 100%. I'm like, this is the biggest deer. He's like, yeah, all right, Dan. Goes, listen, you're gonna have a bunch more. If you met my dad, you know the way he's like, all right.
The clam video.
Yeah.
How's the clams, Dad?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, all right, you're gonna have a bunch more. Don't worry. So I'm like, this guy doesn't fucking understand how big this deer is. So I knew exactly where I hid the deer. So we dragged his deer down along the road, and we cut in to go grab mine. And I purposely walked a different way so he can walk down to it, and then like we would meet up. So I did that, and I made sure to record, and this is the video.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Wow! Wow, this thing is massive! Holy shit!
You see Jerry's like,
Oh my God! And you can, yeah. That is the best part about me killing this deer was my dad's reaction. And we went down, we dragged the deer down. We had both hanging, both of our deer. We took pictures together. Our opening day was over 2 hours into opening day, which was awesome. I was drinking beer by 10 o'clock. And that was a great day. So the day was a better story than actually killing the deer, but I'm so grateful for this because this is the biggest deer that's been taken in my family and my crew of hunters that I've been hunting with forever. And I like to say that, you know, the private property that we're allowed to be on is my cousin's house, and there's been, I would say, over 100 hunters that have gone through there. They built it in 73 or 75. So how many years is that? Over
50 years.
Over 50 years. And I hold the biggest deer out of 50 years of hunting in that cabin, which is pretty cool. So that's about it.